No guests this week, just me and the man, face to face, mano y mano. Heath Schroyer.
I got to go a whole segment with no one in between us.
Heath Schroyer, Jim Gazzolo, Polk Nation, Holiday Edition. A lot of things happening in the year of the past. A lot of things happening in the year to come. We're going to touch on all those. First, I want to start off with the big news of Joe Dumars' court.
It's pretty cool, huh?
I have always wondered why Joe Dumars does not have a bigger presence in this school, and you brought him back.
Well, I appreciate that, and I will tell you that Joe and I have a really, really good relationship. It's one that I worked on and started from the time I coached here. Never asked him for a dime, just from advice. A lot of things in the past, I think that our university and our athletic department leadership over the time just didn't do a very good job of fostering a relationship with the most recognizable athlete that has ever or will ever come out of McNeese, if you want to be honest.
Well, he's in the NBA Hall of Fame.
Well, yeah, and look, you can talk about his accolades all you want. We could talk about that the whole segment, or the whole show. But he is an unbelievable person. He's from Louisiana. He has changed and touched so many lives, and he really, really loved his experience here. And it's sad that it's taken this long, but I am really, really excited. And honestly, I'm honored to be the one that has done this and got him back involved and got him here.
When's it going to happen?
It's going to happen January 5th. That's going to be the Joe Dumars Day. It's our first league game. We played Northwestern State.
First home league game.
Yes, first league home game, and it'll be a great night. He's coming in on a Wednesday, and obviously, he and I are going to meet on Wednesday, and Thursday we're going to do a whole deal before the game, and it's going to be a great time. And more importantly, I'm looking forward to having dinner with him and just kind of catching up again.
More dinner. More dinner I don't get invited
to. I'll
to.
tell you this, when all this happened, what people don't know is when I flew out to the NBA Summer League in the summer is when he invited me out. We had dinner and we had a great evening, and that's when I told him this is what I wanted to do. And so it all started from there. But I'm so excited, and the court will be named forever Joe Dumars Court, and it's well past, it's way overdue.
And one day is it going to be Joe Dumars Court at Heath Schroyer Pavilion?
No.
I just wondering when they're going to do. No. Can we give you a street name at least?
No.
No, but I think the thing is, and why I started with that for this edition of the show is because this year, to me, the theme of this year was bring back tradition. Mm-hmm. More than anything else. Football-wise, a little bit of basketball. There's not as much tradition, but it seems like that's kind of the theme of the year. Did you go into it with that, or is that just kind of what happened?
No, we did. We talked about. We had a new football coach, obviously, with Gary. We wanted to get back to some of the roots, like changing the game times back to 7:00. Bringing the mystery rider back. Really enhancing our tailgate experience. Now we're being in the Legacy Center. Like I said, in the summer, going to see Joe, wanted to be able to bring Joe into the loop here at the first of the year and name the court. So there's a lot of things that were on my mind, in the summer going into this year of trying to get back to some of the tradition. And also educating our players, our current players, our coaches on what a great tradition we have. We just lost our way. At the end of the day, I've said it on this show before, we just lost our way as a university and athletic department for quite a while. But now getting back to and funding things the way they need to be funded and trying to move this department forward has been the biggest mission I've had, since I've taken over.
But how important was it? Not just the Joe Dumars, because obviously that name recognition is, but a lot of people don't really understand what McNeese sports and athletics used to be. Mm-hmm. Are you sensing that people are starting to get that now when you brought the mystery rider back, when you went to 7? How important was the 7:00, do you think?
I think it was really big. I think it was really, really important. I didn't have one, outside of you, I didn't have one.
I wanted 6. All I wanted was 6.
I didn't have one negative comment about it. It's just, it's Louisiana Saturday nights, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, playing in the hole on Saturday night. It's just something about it, and I thought it was really, really important. And the mystery rider was a big deal too, because it's been so long since we've had that. So there's been a generation that hasn't experienced that. All those little things, I want us. And I knew we were going to struggle in football this year, but I wanted to have everything ready. I wanted to have the tailgates ready. I wanted to do all the things that we could possibly do to make this the greatest game day and tailgate experience in FCS football. And I think we did that.
Was it important for you to do that this year in order to set up next year?
100%. Absolutely.
So you just basically wanted to get a head start on it.
Absolutely. Right. I mean, why wait, right? You had a new coach. We're finally back in the building. We're finally into this building. We finally got the stadium. Like, why wait? Let's put it all out there now. And I've always said, it's the old line, right? If you build it, they will come. And so we're going to build it.
You and your lines. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the past this year, right after this on Poke Nation. We're back on Poke Nation. We're talking a little bit about, the last year, kind of how it leads into this year. Mm-hmm. But I want to get specific on last year.
Okay.
The first post-hurricane year. Mm-hmm. Did you sense that kind of the victimization was over with and that we have moved on?
I think so. It was a big concern of mine as a leader of the department. I sensed that after the hurricane for a while. Woe is us, and it all trickles down, right, from the athletic director to coaches, and then coaches to players. And I think I started sensing some of that from our coaches, and then obviously it trickled into our players, and it was a concern. And I think we're past that. I mean, I had a very, very blunt meeting with our coaches, and simply said, no one cares.
No.
Like, no one cares about we didn't have this, or, we didn't have power for 18 days back in 2000. No one cares.
Yeah.
The only thing that matters is we win on the court and on the field and off the field and off the court, right? We have to win in the classroom, in the community, and on the field and courts. Let's get back to doing that, because no one cares about why we couldn't or whatever. And I think that but you're right. It started to seep in a little bit, and I wanted to nip that in the bud.
I say that because I'm pretty close with a lot of your coaches.
Sure.
And the difference I noticed, because I wrote about it, was the coaches that were here were kind of into that mode. The coaches who weren't here, like Lynn Kennedy and Gary Goff, they were past that. Mm-hmm. And I could see the way their trajectory of their programs compared to the attitude of the other programs were. And
yep.
I think, just from me, it took a year for me not to realize we weren't victims anymore.
For sure.
And that nobody cared. Mm-hmm. So I think that was, if the theme of the year wasn't getting back to tradition, it sure had to be get over it.
That is true. We needed to get over it. And, and look, and I got it, like, when you're coaching right after the hurricane, right, like basketball, we're in the Burton Coliseum, and you had a team that was recruited to play in here, and all that, and football playing in spring. It was just a jacked up year.
Yeah.
But that year's over, right? Like, we got to throw that away, and we got to get back to holding ourselves accountable to be excellent. And that was another thing that I talked to our coaches about.
And give kids reason to come back.
Absolutely.
Because in a world you are fighting recruiting to get kids into a program. They don't want to hear about the problems.
No question.
They want to know what is it going to be for me when I go there for my 4 years.
That's exactly right. They don't care. It's all about. I mean, it's human nature, right? I mean, things move, and we can't be the victim.
No, and not if you want to be the leader of the conference.
Absolutely.
Springtime, you had a great spring. Mm-hmm. Baseball, softball, tremendous.
For sure.
What does that mean for the programs? Because they kind of all of a sudden they got you some attention that McNeese hasn't had in a while, because it came at a time when ESPN is starting to pick up all these games. Mm-hmm. How important is the ESPN deal, do you think? And how important is it to put on a good face for that?
I think number one, both of those programs had great years. Softball, for example, going into, in a regional and beating Notre Dame twice.
Yeah.
Huge deal. ESPN and ESPN Plus has changed college athletics. I mean, the transfer portal, NIL, and TV, and social media. But you look at all the things that are going on with ESPN now. It's only going to get more. We're only going to need to broadcast more games volleyball, softball, baseball. Those things are going to happen, and we just have to continue to grow, right? I mean, it's the one thing that I try to talk to all the university and the community about all the time is we can't get stuck in, well, we've always done it this way.
Yeah.
This is who we are. No.
Well, that is the McNeese way.
We have to continue to push the envelope and think about not where we're at today, but where is it going tomorrow? ESPN's not going to go away.
No.
Right? I mean, we only have to increase our ESPN coverage because it increases our brand.
How important is it now for you guys to kind of, you and I have talked about this a lot, kind of take over your own media name? You live in a town now where the newspaper cut back a couple days,
Crazy.
but we have the Polk Nation. We have a coach's show now. So you do have vessels to get your voice out. How much more do you want to take that and become kind of a media savvy yourself?
I mean, look, we've had pretty frank conversations off the air. I want to do more and more because, like when we started this show, I mean, you pitched it 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago, folks, 10 years ago.
But I mean, I just think that, again, being able to control the media, if you will, or be able to enhance your brand.
Well, not control the media, but control your voice.
Message, right?
Yeah.
And being able to brand ourselves, like it's all about branding of the department and branding ourselves. And so any avenue that we can continue to do that and push the envelope, I am 100% interested in.
I think your league needs to do more of it too.
For sure. I've actually said that to Chris, and we've had very frank conversations with that as well. I think our league, before Chris got there, I think the leadership in our league was behind in that as well.
Very much like McNeese.
For sure.
To be honest with you, very. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the future and also what is NIL and how does it affect McNeese after this. Back on Polk Nation. Happy holidays, everybody, for one thing. We're in the holiday season. I know you want to say happy holidays to everybody.
For sure. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And it is a great time of year for reflection. We are, both of us, we tease each other a lot, but we're very blessed to be able to do what we do and have the health we have. And, it's all of Polk Nation. I wish you nothing but great, happy, healthy holidays and a happy, healthy, productive, and exciting New Year.
Me too, and that's from Santa. Santa of McNeese.
No.
Okay, every fan comes up to me and says, what's with the transfer portal? Because this year it exploded. What's with NIL money? Does McNeese get NIL money? How does NIL money work? I try to explain to them that NIL money is players, not the school. The school can't be involved in NIL.
Right.
But how has it impacted McNeese athletics, and has it?
I think we need to get in the NIL game. We are actively pursuing avenues to do that. I think it's a necessary evil. And obviously we struggle from a financial standpoint, from a budget standpoint, because of the way our state operates. We don't get a lot of money from the state, so we have to continue to fundraise to do the things we want to do for operating budget. But make no mistake that NIL, it's real. It's name, image, and likeness.
Yes.
So someone can talk to a quarterback and give them $1,000 a month to do social media, to be a to represent their brand. It's happening all over the place. And being able to do it in a legal way, being able to. I'm personally waiting for the transformation committee in January, what all of that looks like, because I really believe some of the things that they've come out with NIL is going to change. How much is the administration, myself, able to facilitate those things?
Yeah.
How involved can we be? So I'm getting everything set up. I'm having conversations with people about NIL because we need to be there. And
it's a platform you got to have.
100%. And look, we're not going to be NIL like LSU or the SEC. I'm not saying that. But, for certain certain positions and certain recruits, I mean, it's what it is. And, and for us.
You want to be in the game at least for the Lamars and for and
100%.
ULs and La Tech.
Absolutely. I mean, and, can we beat the UL on 15 or 20 players with NIL? No, but we could probably beat one or two. And why not? right? I mean, at the end of the day, again, we talked about in the last segment, we can sit here, we have an option, say, well, we're just going to do what we've always done and do it this way because this is what we've always done. Well, the world is passing us by. Or we can say, hey, we need to be forward thinking. We need to figure out how to do this, but also we still need to be able to fund our programs. But that's my job, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's my job. And but I have had active conversations with collectives, with lawyers across the country about how it works. How does it again impact our university? How does it impact our fundraising from our corporate sponsorships? I mean, all those things. But those conversations are being had.
Well, I think that's your next step as the progression of the university because you're already involved in the transfer portal in many ways. You haven't lost a lot of players in the transfer portal yet, but the transfer portal fans get caught up in the LSU's and the Alabama transfer portals. It's a different level when it comes to like a McNeese and the FCS level, isn't it? You're not taking a 5-star and moving him from one 5-star program to another. You've really got to vet your guys.
For sure. And I think that, one thing I think Gary's done a great job of, Coach Goff, is, and we talked about this when I hired him, is I didn't want someone that did nothing but rely on the portal. I wanted someone that was going to recruit high school kids, recruit junior college kids, and still recruit the portal. But I think right now the trend is always portal. And I think it's a great sign that we didn't have a bunch of kids jump in the portal because they're being coached, they're being held accountable, they like the direction of the program, they like the coaches. You're always going to have a few people jump into the portal because NIL money or I didn't play or what have you. But again, it's not going to go away. We can sit here and fans can complain about the transfer portal, but it's real, and it's going to impact us, and we have to adapt.
Yeah, it is real. It is a little confusing to follow.
It is,
but it's interesting to follow because, we're sitting here now, and the Notre Dame quarterback, the former prize position of college sports,
right,
the one everybody wanted, started the entire year and is leaving.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Because he's afraid of the competition next year, though he's starting this year. That's a weird world.
It's just strange. I mean, it's a different world. It really is. The transfer portal and NIL has changed the game. And let me tell you this: watch out for University of Colorado football.
Oh yeah.
Deion Sanders is going to get that thing going quickly because of NIL, and the transfer portal.
Well, let's look at it. We got all these new coaches being named. Who's they talking about the most? Deion Sanders.
And who controls his own message better than him? Nobody.
Coach Prime. When we come back, we'll get final words from Coach on the new year after this. We're back, Poke Nation, everybody. Still with Heath Schroyer. Santa Claus is still here. Still in the building. All right, we come up to the new year. A lot of expectations here at McNeese.
Yeah.
Baseball press box being fixed. Football press box starting up. Joe Dumar's court being named. A lot of things going on. What's the number one goal for you this coming year?
Wow, win. We have to, and I've said it on here before, but all of our sports are very, very important. And I don't think that we should be outside of the top 3 or 4 in any of our sports. I just believe that our job in this league now is that good. But we got to get football and men's basketball to become relevant. We're hosting the basketball tournament obviously this year and the next 4. This is a window for us. I think with Coach Goff, the new press box that's coming, we're working on trying to renovate the football locker room and those things. Like we're trying to put everything we can into us becoming relevant here. I think our window, Jim, the next 3 to 5 years, we can be special. But we got to get after it. We got to get it done.
And you got to start now.
100%.
The interesting thing for you guys is because so much of it is what the league also does. We see the league basketball-wise looks like it's actually starting to bounce up. The basketball league has had a good off season.
They have.
Football did not. But we saw a strange event in Southland Conference football. We saw 4 openings.
Yeah.
We saw a coach trying to be poached from one conference team to another. That doesn't happen in the Southland. What does that say about the investment of football and what it means? Because Incarnate Word is showing you what can happen.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the national semifinals right now. I mean, it's, you know, college athletics and football, especially in the South, is the biggest and best branding opportunity you have for your university. I mean, look, we're like, in our league, we're all regional institutions, okay? Well, how are you going to differentiate yourself for the normal student to come to school? Okay, you have to have a really good cafeteria, you have to have good housing, you have to do all that, but you have to be, like, people want to be a part of something bigger than themselves.
Something that wins.
Yes, you have to win, and you have to create an environment. And like we talked about early, you know, was bringing back the mystery rider, having a great tailgate, bringing student tailgate back to the middle of tailgate lot A. All those things is to try to bring students and block parties. All of those is to be able to generate excitement and student engagement, but nothing does that like football in the fall. And I think that every other team in this league has learned that, and I think that's why the leash on coaches is a lot shorter, because you got to win. I mean, because it's competitive. I mean, there's not as many kids going to college today as it was 10 years ago. That is a fact. Okay. Well, how are you going to get those students? Right? You have to have good programs on campus, all that. But we're regional institutions. You have to invest in athletics if you're going to be good and recruit the students.
Are you the reason why these coaches have a shorter leash?
In the league?
Yes, because you've invested in Gary Goff.
I did.
More than McNeese ever invested. And I think a turned out McNeese that's investing in itself scares the rest of the league.
It should. I mean, let's be honest. And I mean, we have the best community in town.
Oh, we're going to sell now. Go ahead. So,
we have the best facilities. Okay.
Yeah.
And we are, as long as I'm here, we are going to fund our programs as much as we can fund, because I want to be good. And I think that the league knows and understands that once we get it right, and we're on the track of getting it right, that we have an opportunity to really, really be dominant in this league. And we should. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it drives me nuts when I hear people say, oh, well, we're just McNeese. No. We are McNeese. And it's time for us to put a flag in the ground and say, we expect to win. We want to win. We want to do it the right way, but we need to win.
And doing it the right way, though, that's also the key, because
Absolutely.
A lot of people think the right way. You've actually brought the community back into the school.
Yes.
So is that winning the right way?
Absolutely. You know, I haven't hired one person that isn't going to be engaging in the community and invest in the community, all the way down from, you know, Lynn Kennedy to Sasha to all of them, Gary, all of them. It's something that's really, really important to me. I love Southwest Louisiana. I love this community. And I understand that this university and this athletic department is the backbone and the soul of our community. It's our obligation. It is. It's our obligation to be good and to
be relevant again.
Right, and to provide the rallying point for this community and this university, because nothing can do that like a great athletic program.
Says the man who sold a building to players before it was even built. That's
It's
an amazing. and now he's a famous rock promoter.
No, I do like
Concert
the concerts. You don't like the concerts.
I'm not a concert guy. I don't get out much. From everybody, but from myself, from Heath,
Yeah.
a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, like we've said. Hope to see. We want to thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Tell them we're going to see them in the new year.
Happy New Year. We'll see you in January.
Thank you, everybody.